So we wait for something to happen. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. Well, this convenes the virtual Terrace Park Zoning Board of Appeals hearing on April 20th, 2020. Thanks for all of you being here. And I want to thank Jerry Hayhow for getting this all set up, and Jason at ICRC. When we knew we were going to have this hearing, there was little known as to how we would have it. And I know there was concern about getting together and risk the spread of COVID-19. But Jerry was already on it. The Ohio legislature, or the governor, said it's okay to have these kinds of meetings virtually. And I feel very comfortable that we're going to come to a fair result by doing it this way. We've all kind of met each other, but we have from the board, Amy Nysonger, Dee Walter, David Brittingham, and myself. I'm the chair, and I'll be keeping the minutes tonight. We have Tom Wilcox, the architect, Kurt Vonderheide, the builder, and Jerry Hayhow as our host. The opening comments were all sent to you. It was a 2-page document. I felt that was more efficient than me sitting here reading for 10 minutes when there's only one matter. And it's relatively straightforward how this meeting should go. The first matter of business is we need to approve the January 29th, 2020 minutes. I've sent them to the other board members. I guess it would be David or Dee. I need a motion to approve and then a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So they're approved. Okay. The next thing we need to do is we need to swear in persons who may or will speak tonight. And here we have Mike
We have
and
the,
Amy. So we now have the homeowners. We cannot hear you, Amy and Mike.
I think you have to, there you go.
Perfect. You got it.
Got it?
Got it? All right. You haven't missed a thing. Welcome.
I'm so sorry. We're so busy. We have so many places to be, like nowhere.
It is not an issue. Your appearance is right on time because anybody who's going to speak tonight has to stand up and take an oath to tell the truth because this is a quasi-judicial proceeding. So this would be Tom, Kurt, and the 2 Fitzgibbons need to stand.
Yeah.
You're already standing. Raise your right hand and answer either I do or yes to the following question. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this matter tonight before the Zoning Board of Appeals?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Perfect. I'm going to read what this hearing is all about. And if at the end anyone disagrees or has things to add, please do. Then what will happen is we'll have the little presentation by the owners or the representatives of the owners as to why you're doing this and why the variance is needed. Then I'll ask for any questions or comments by the board. Then we'll look at the factors to be considered in either approving or denying the variance request, and then we'll have a motion. So with that, Amy and Mike Fitzgibbons are planning to add a roof over an existing patio and outdoor fireplace. The existing patio is 13 feet in depth. The new structure will violate Terrace Park Zoning Code Section 1111.05, which requires an 18-foot setback from a side yard lot line. To note, the setback is increased from the standard 15-foot side yard setback to 18 feet because the house exceeds a building height of 25 feet. So the setback is increased 3 feet because the building height of the main dwelling is 28 feet. The new covered patio will be 13 feet 4 inches from the side lot line at the closest point and 15 feet 8 inches at its furthest point from the side lot line. When the dwelling was constructed, the side yard setback requirement was a minimum of 15 feet. The Terrace Park zoning code was since amended to increase a side yard setback requirement by 1 foot for every 1 foot the main dwelling exceeds a building of 25 feet in height. Where the covered open patio will be the furthest away from the side yard lot line, the variance sought is 2.2 feet or a 12% variance. And where the covered open patio will be closest to the side yard lot line, the variance sought is 4.7 feet into the setback, which is a 26% variance. But again, this patio is only 13 feet in depth, so it's not like the whole building is involved in this variance request. Both neighbors to the north of the property have consented in writing to the proposed renovation. Richard French and Drusilla Stockwell at 210 Harvard Avenue and Amy Puderbaugh at 500 Miami Avenue. The property to the west of the Fitzgibbons property is a vacant lot. And the street, Amherst Avenue, is to the south of the Fitzgibbons property. So that is background on the variance request. And so at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the owners or the representative of the owners to just give us a little bit of background. I do want to compliment Tom on the drawings. I found them to be very, very good, very thorough. I don't know if the other board members will agree with me on that, but very clear to me what is being proposed and why a variance is needed. So I leave it up to the owner and the representatives to decide who's going to do the talking here.
I'll do it if you want me to.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
I would think it would be the architect.
Absolutely.
Okay. First of all, I have a question. When exactly was the zoning code changed as far as the setback requirement related to the height? Do you know?
I don't have that date.
Okay.
But it was definitely after this house was rebuilt,
Yeah,
if you will.
yes,
Basically totally torn down, and the only thing that was saved was the cobblestone
Right, okay.
fireplace.
I'm just curious. It wouldn't have affected the design of this, but I talked to John Hester a couple of years ago when we were just planning this, and I asked him about this specific question, and he said the 15 feet unless it's over 25 feet high, and then it goes an additional foot for each foot above 25 feet that the existing house is. Except I didn't know his existing house. I thought he's talking about just what we were adding on. So I thought that the setback was going to be 15 feet instead of the 18 feet. Again, it didn't. The only thing is, I would have known right from the start that we need a variance instead of finding after doing all the drawings. It wouldn't have affected, like I said. So I apologize for that, Amy and Mike. I should have understood what he told me better.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway, so the reason the covered patio is the size it is because the patio is that size, basically. We're covering it. We need to be that close to the north property line so that the roof continues the existing roof over their mudroom. If you look at the side elevation, I think it's on sheet 3. It's the north elevation shows how that works out. And if we pulled the columns to the south away from the north property line, it would close in that little new porch we're creating so that it would be a little bit crowded coming out of their mudroom into the covered patio. Also, we wanted the size that it is so that they could have a seating area in front of the fireplace and also room for a table, an eating table. And one of the drawings shows how that all works. And I guess that's about it. Trying to, hold the line of the house as it is. If the house was parallel to the side property lines, this wouldn't be an issue, but the house is cocked. So it's kind of parallel to the Miami Avenue, the front property line.
Thinking back to your earlier question, Tom, I think it was the first revision that we did to the zoning code, which was done in about 2007.
Okay.
2004, we realized that the zoning code really needed to be revised because of a big issue on Myrtle. And there was a big concern that houses were taking up too much of lots. And so that's when it was decided that if the taller the building got, then the more it needed to come in from the side yard set line. So I'm thinking it was about 2007 that change was made, which was well after the renovation to this house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Thanks. I don't know if I have anything else to say describing the project. Kurt or Amy or Mike, I'm not sure if you do either.
We were really pleased. We approached our neighbors personally. First, we talked to Amy, and she's our neighbor on Miami, so directly next to us, facing onto Miami. And her question was, well, why would I have an opinion? I mean, she was great. She was like, well, that's your business. Of course, that's great. And then we were really pleased. Then our other neighbors at 201 on Harvard, who are the most affected by this change, they were out of town and then they came in town and we went right over. And so we were able to talk to them face to face, and they were terrific. They were like, oh, it looks great. It's beautiful. You know, we don't mind.
They've both seen drawings.
Yeah, we
of it,
took our drawings.
so they're well aware of what it will
showed them
look like.
everything. And I had not met them before. And they were lovely. They didn't hesitate. So
Good.
that was
Yeah, and to get a written letter is like perfect.
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Do you have questions of us?
Well, why don't I ask the board that? Any questions, any comments? David, Amy, Dee?
It looks lovely. It's another corner lot with
Issue.
placed kitty cornered, which I've got some of that in my yard too. So it's old Terrace Park houses.
Mhm.
I did have a question, and it doesn't really go to the patio, because I'm okay with that. But John had something in his letter about having to combine two lots. Was or is that still a requirement, or was that done, or?
It's in the process. We had, we just got the drawings back from the surveyors, and we just had them notarized on Saturday and sent back. So then they will be
Presented to the county for.
yeah, so that's totally in the process.
Yeah, we've already, we're well on the way of getting that accomplished. The only holdup could be if the courthouse and the records, and are they in and out? So
Yeah.
it's coming. It's just not here
We
now.
had no hesitation, no concern. When we bought the house, we thought it was an odd setup anyway. So if this cleans that up, that's fine with us.
Yeah, I can't imagine those two thin lots like that. I mean, that's neither here nor there for your.
Yeah, I guess I didn't pay attention when I bought it, and then I got two tax bills. And I'm going, wait a minute, why do I have, two pieces of property here? So
Hopefully they were each half of what they should have been.
Well, the one with the house on it is much bigger than the other one.
yeah.
Good. Dee, any questions, comments, observations?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like I agree with you totally, David, that the plans were really explanatory when you look at them. That was very helpful to me. And it looks like a lovely project.
Great.
I wish it was going to be my backyard when I looked at the plans.
Well,
Okay, well, I think
talk to Tom about drawing them for
Yes.
you. There you go.
Between Tom and Kurt, it will be lovely.
Yes, Kurt's going to build it for us,
Yes.
basically.
Okay. Well, I think it's time to consider the factors relating to this variance request. And the way we work this is I answer the questions. If any board member disagrees, then they can jump in and we'll discuss it before we vote. Number one, will the property yield a reasonable return, or can there be a beneficial use of property without the variance? The answer to that is yes. Is the variance substantial? Well, it is and it isn't. The Ohio law on this, that if it's more than 15%, it's considered a substantial variance. And part of it is more than 15%, but again, it's a very short distance. So I'm going to say the answer to that is yes, but that does not get in the way necessarily of whether you get the variance or not. Number three, will the essential character of the neighborhood be substantially altered or adjoining property suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance? The answer to that is no. Will the variance adversely affect the delivery of government services? No. Did the property owner purchase the property with knowledge of the zoning restriction? The answer to that is always yes, because the zoning code is a public document that you're charged with the knowledge of that. Can the owner's predicament be solved by some manner other than the granting of the variance? The answer to that would be no. Would granting the variance preserve the spirit and intent of the zoning requirement, and would substantial justice be done by the granting of the variance? And I think the answer to that is yes. With that, I'm going to ask for a motion to either approve or deny the variance request to add a roof and supports to the existing patio at 504 Miami Avenue, which is 13 feet in depth, as set out in the drawings dated March 9th, 2020, which will encroach the required side yard setback of 18 feet by 2.2 feet at the furthest point and 4.7 feet at the closest point from the side yard lot line. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the motion as presented by Moyer, David Moyer.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
You have your
Okay.
variance.
Well, thank you all very much.
Okay. Well,
Thank you so much.
Yep. Is Jerry still on? There we go.
I am.
Gary's back.
Okay.
So they'll need a zoning certificate. Issued.
Okay.
And then you'll work with the Fitzgibbons on how the building department, Hamilton County will.
Yeah, I'll find out where that's at. And yeah, I'll find out where that's at so I can help from here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, I did want to mention to the board, there will be no May board meeting because Friday was the deadline for new applications and there were no applications last week. So we have no meeting or hearing in May. So the next hearing will be in June.
Okay,
With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Seconded? All in favor?
Second, yeah.
Thanks very much. And again, Jerry, I know
Aye.
this went really smoothly. 25 minutes.
Well,
think
I
everyone
can,
was comfortable. Thank you very much. And
Thank
Jason
you.
at ICRC for setting this up.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
have
Ja-
never
Jason did a
been
good job.
involved in anything